Hello and welcome back. If you're here for the first time, thank you for choosing to tune in. So we're here with some coverage about the Duke of Sussex and his time in the UK. As we know, Prince Harry flew to the UK to see his father, and this was after the announcement on Monday from Buckingham Palace that King Charles has cancer. Of course, we know that he had spoken to Prince Harry personally as well as William. The Duke of Sussex arrived in London Tuesday afternoon, and he was photographed being driven into the gates of Clarence House, the King's London residence, about 2:45 p.m. local time. So that's about 9:45 a.m. Eastern Time. Harry was seen in a photograph seated in the back of a black SUV, and Prince Harry had taken an 11-hour flight from Los Angeles to London overnight, landing at the airport at Heathrow. So the reunion did not appear to last very long. In fact, it was said to be around a 45-minute to 30 minutes. Strangely enough, the time has adapted itself. That was his meeting with King Charles and Camilla. And then after that, everyone left Charles and Camilla, departing to the country estate in Sandringham by helicopter shortly afterwards. So the brief father-son meeting has sparked speculation of reconciliation between Harry and his family after the estrangement that they have gone through. However, it was also reported that there were no plans for Harry to meet his brother while he was in London. So yes, that has been the major reports around the world, that Charles has been recently diagnosed with cancer after being treated separately for an enlarged prostate. And of course, they have not specified concerning the specific condition that he is with. Now, on this trip, we all know that Prince Harry went alone. He did not go with Meghan or the children, Prince Archie and Princess Lilibet. And I want us just to have a chat, a talk. And of course, I know as this video is running, so is the chat. And I would like to have just a conversation and have your thoughts on the Duke of Sussex's visit to the UK with his father. The timing that, of course, a lot of outlets have been talking about. Harry having an 11-hour flight to have a 45 to 30-minute sit down with Charles and Camilla. So let's have a step-by-step analysis of this trip. So Buckingham Palace announced on Monday that King Charles had been diagnosed with that form of cancer and would step back from public duties for the treatment. Now, it was said that his sons were both informed about his diagnosis before the public announcement. And as we know, Harry has had a channel of communication with his dad. We heard a story that had come out that they had sent him either some kind of video message for his birthday. So there is a line of communication already open between Prince Harry, his dad, Meghan, and the children. So we have that. So when Harry has this call, we can expect that he makes those arrangements and makes that 11-hour flight to the UK. And of course, as I mentioned, it was quite the time zone difference. So a lot of you, by the way, have been commending Harry on this show of support to King Charles, especially when we consider, just the backstory of all that's gone on with what Prince Harry has talked about, with what had happened, with how he felt that Meghan was not protected by the institution, the leaking about all their plans, and the gift of the Frogmore cottage that was taken back from them. And we could go on and on. And we have known for some time that Harry has always talked about mending that relationship with his family, with his dad, and he has made those strides. You can see that. So him dropping everything to go and see his dad, just take that in, an 11-hour flight to go and see him. And of course, we had already known that King Charles had started his treatments on Monday. So less than a day after the news broke, Harry was spotted arriving at a private terminal at LAX in a black Range Rover on Monday. He touches down, flying more than 5,000 miles over the Atlantic before touching down at London's Heathrow Airport at around 12:30 p.m. So yes, he was taken directly from the airport, no downtime, arriving at Clarence House at 2:45 p.m. local time, where the pair had that brief meeting. Of course, everyone has been just wondering and speculating about what they could have talked about. Was it 45 minutes? Was it 30 minutes? Who knows? People said that King Charles had already started his treatment and he might have been a bit tired when he was meeting with Harry. That has been one of the reasons floated as to why the meeting cannot have been longer. And some of you had some suggestions. Connie said this. You said that 30 minutes was plenty for the two of them to talk about whatever they needed to discuss. And of course, bearing in mind that he might have been tired, King Charles that is, it kind of does make sense that that may have been just about enough time to catch up, to talk about what was extremely necessary for them to talk about. And of course, some of you have also pointed out that perhaps you felt that Harry might have been slighted by that very short time that he was given. There has been tremendous commentary on that in the press about Harry only having the 45 to 30 minutes sit down with King Charles, and some have been very gleeful about that as the time has fluctuated from 45 to that 30-minute timing that we've been given. We are absolutely ignoring that. Just keeping the main thing. There have been so many perspectives that I've been getting from you in the comments. Some of you are grandparents, are parents. It took a crisis like that to bring the family back together because yes, it is amazing that Harry flew 1,000 miles to be there with his dad. And a lot of you commended Harry for trying to build bridges in that moment and bridging the gap between him and his family, going there in person to be with his dad. And I think it's so much more than what some people have been trying to say as a PR move in quotes. That's just who Harry is. And so much more information is coming out concerning the meeting between Charles and Harry. And for Harry, who just rushed over to the UK to see him, of course, you can imagine none of this was planned. He got the news and then he just got on a plane and rushed there. 11-hour overnight flight. And there has been this word being used that it was a, quote, significant decision for Charles to delay his travel plans after his son's gesture to fly across the Atlantic at short notice. And this was interesting. I saw this in CNN. They said that it was significant, in quotes, that Harry had flown back. Consider that they have not seen him in the UK since the coronation, where he just dipped in and out. And now here he is just rushing over to the UK, being whisked from the airport to see his dad. So that has been a huge signal in an improvement of the relationship between King Charles and Harry. There have been signs of an improvement in relations between father and son, because at one point we know they were so low that Harry once said that Charles had stopped taking his calls. And now we can see they have come quite a long way. So yes, there is so much commentary going on about this. And someone also pointed out that Harry making that huge move must have made an impression on Charles. Can you imagine? Because if you can compare that, there are some people who will not cross a couple of blocks to help someone in need. And yet here's Harry crossing an entire ocean, knowing that he just has to go there and see him. Harry was not a medical practitioner or professional. He would not add anything to King Charles's treatment that he would not have been able to convey to him over a phone. But for him to go there personally, I think is massive. I think that would even thaw the most cold individual, I'm talking stone cold person ever. Just think about and consider that type of care or concern. Absolutely moving. He's always worn his heart on his sleeve and been so caring in that way, and truly a servant leadership. You know, once served, always serving. I think that just permeates every aspect of his life. People talked about this was signs of the family getting closer together. Some, of course, as I said before, saw it was as a slight that Harry only met with him for that short amount of time, whether it's 45 or 30. Share your thoughts and perspectives on that in the comment section below. And also very noteworthy as well, there was that whole article that came out that there were no plans to see William. And some of you pointed out he didn't actually fly there to see William, though it's interesting. There was an article here that came out very interesting by Fox News. Yes, bear with me, some of you who don't watch Fox News at all, but this was quite insightful. Listen, this is the headline, quote, "King Charles thrilled Prince Harry is back as royal. Harry urged to build bridges," in quotes, "with William," end quote. This isn't by an expert. So this was the standout. I'll just read the one paragraph to you. It said this: "Hours after King Charles III went public with his cancer diagnosis, his son, Prince Harry, arrived to be by his side. Christopher Anderson, author of The King, told Fox News Digital Now that it would be a crucial time for Prince Harry and his brother William to put aside their differences for their father's sake. It is believed the king is thrilled to be reunited with his estranged son during his health battle, end quote. And the article went on to say, quote, "This is the biggest opportunity for Prince William and Prince Harry to set aside some time to speak. I do hope that they both see this as an opportunity to work towards mediation, even if it's one building block at a time. I also hope that Prince Harry has a change of heart and shows more kindness towards his family. A family upset should be detangled slightly during an illness crisis," end quote. But this was the part that stood out to me the most. Anderson said this, quote, "It would be nice to think that a reconciliation is possible given the current circumstances. You could look at this situation and say, wow, if this doesn't bring them back together, nothing will," end quote. So isn't that fascinating? Harry drops everything at a phone call to go and be with his dad. Remember, he is not offering any kind of medical solution to what Charles is going through. That's just him going there for moral support, to show him he cares and he loves him. Of course, in the back of everyone's mind, as we've also seen the reporting on all of this, everyone expected the sons would come together to support King Charles in this difficult time in his life with the diagnosis he has received. And on that end, we just heard a story coming out that, William has no plans, in quotes, to meet with Harry. So what do you make of that? Share your thoughts on that in the comments section below. And I did watch this video where someone in the medical profession was talking about all of this and spoke and said that in his experience, he has seen that major crises in families tend to bring them closer together. Even the huge differences that family members may have, animosities or infighting, tended to be put aside or even whittle away in perspective with the challenge that the family was facing. And he fully expected that, and they were so surprised when they did not see that happening in this instance. So they were very surprised to see that they were unwilling to come together or talk or bridge the gap or anything like that. So share thoughts on that. That was very standout. And you know what I think? When we consider that a while ago, Prince Harry did say that King Charles was not even taking his phone calls. We do remember Harry saying that we have seen that relationship on the mend. And yes, of course, I know some of you in the Sussex squad are like, Prince Harry and Meghan should just tell the Windsors, bye Felicia, but we're talking facts on the ground. There has been signs of the family getting closer, especially where Harry and King Charles are concerned. With the story we heard about them speaking to him on his birthday last autumn. And of course, we're not talking about them heading over to Sandringham or to any of their estates for family get-togethers, but I'm saying that there has been some movement on that side, whether you like to hear that or not. And to that end, consider that they've come from no contact with his dad, no phone calls being picked, to Harry dropping everything at a phone call to go back to see his dad. Whether you want to admit that or not, that is significant. And when you consider that Harry and William did not even have any time to discuss when the Windsor family are in this huge crisis, that is also very standout. So share thoughts on that in the comments section. And my advice to Prince William would be, these people, they say they are the heads of the Church of England. It is so odd to see someone who would aspire to that position holding grudges. It's very odd. I think anyone who knows their Bible knows that verse about forgiveness and on and on. So that's just strange. No matter what side of the aisle you sit on, if you think Harry and Meghan are in the wrong, or whether you think that, the family wronged Harry and Meghan, grudges is no way to go. And it's good to see that Harry and Meghan have made their own attempts to heal the relationships, to put out their hand and extend it for some type of reconciliation. And yes, that is whether some of you in the comments want to hear that or not. So those are just the facts. We know that Prince Harry has said that the royal family are an institution, and he said he did not want the institution. He wanted a family. He wanted there to be a reconciliation with his family. He is willing to put things aside. He wanted that apology. And if we are gonna keep it real, there had been leaking and briefing against Harry and Meghan in the press, and those are just the facts, whether you want to hear that or not. And Harry said that he did not feel the family stepping up to protect Meghan, so that's something that they as a family will have to sort out. Share your thoughts on Harry and William not seeing each other when the Windsor family is in a huge crisis. That is very interesting. I want to know your thoughts. So on to the next step of Prince Harry being in the UK. While it is clear that his stay in the UK was very well guarded, it was not immediately clear as he landed where he would stay while in Britain. As we know, Prince Harry and Meghan vacated their official residence in Frogmore Cottage in Windsor, which is about an hour's drive from London. And when he visited last year, he reportedly stayed in a hotel in the capital. So this was interesting. I saw this on an ABC News report. They talked about Harry's stay. ABC Royal News contributor Robert Jobson said of Harry, this, quote, "If they can't even just say, stay over in the house in Clarence House or one of the rooms in Buckingham Palace, and there are plenty of them, it seems to suggest he is still very much an outsider," end quote. That was his statement. So share your thoughts on that. Harry staying in some hotel in the UK when we know that this family, this royal family, has palaces and, residences all over that they could have given him a room. He was there for just about 24 hours. So once again, Prince Harry being the bigger man in so many ways, you can imagine he makes that flight, the time difference, some jet lag, and there is no consideration, no plan for him on where he will stay. So yeah, that is just something that reflects quite badly, and that is not a good look for the royal family. The world is watching. I think that's something that a lot of people who are there in that institution, who are just in that bubble, need to just step away from and understand that people are watching this, and it's not something that is a peripheral thing. Harry is on the center stage. Whatever he does is headline news, and yet we see him here. In a whole ABC article, people are complaining that he could not be even given a room in one of their residences to stay. It is odd. Let me know your thoughts on that. Or perhaps do you think Harry himself just chose to stay in a hotel? He did not want to stay there. I saw some of your comments that made me just giggle, telling Harry not to eat the food there or stuff like that. So, share your thoughts on that in the comment section. So another surprise from the Duke of Sussex is that he left London after the quick trip to see King Charles, and the Duke of Sussex was spotted at London's Heathrow Airport on Wednesday after spending 24 hours in the UK. So it was a similarly short trip to his home country when he traveled that journey from California to London in May for his father's coronation, and just hours after the crowning ceremony at Westminster Abbey, the Duke of Sussex headed to the airport to return home. As an aside, I have to laugh at that. Some of you said he did not even grab a to-go plate. He was like, I'm out of here. Quick and short, he saw his dad. I think that was the main thing, and he's headed back home. Everyone wants to know what they talked about. So much speculation about what may have been said. But yes, he is on his way home, back to the US, to Meghan, to Prince Archie and Princess Lilibet. And we know that Prince Harry has a full calendar here. We know that he and Meghan have planned to go to Canada from February the 14th to the 16th for the Invictus Games Vancouver Whistlers 2025 One Year to Go celebration. And over their 3-day visit, the couple are expected to join members of the participating nation's winter training camp, which provides an opportunity for members of the international Invictus community, including team managers, coaches, competitors, to experience winter adaptive sports ahead of the games next year. So he is looking forward to that. So yes, Prince Harry, he went there, he came, he saw, he did do what needed to get done. He spoke to his father, he wished him well. Who knows what else they spoke about. And now just share your thoughts on all of that in the comment section below. Share your thoughts and expectations for not only what has happened in this time in the UK when he's been there, but also for the month moving ahead. Do you think that Harry will be having more conversations with Charles on the phone? Because as we know, they have an open line of communication. It's not like before. And Do you think that we may have Harry going back and forth to the UK? I want to know your thoughts. But one thing I love with Harry, he goes where I think he is celebrated. And there is that saying, go where you're appreciated, not tolerated. And I think that's something he has mastered at this point. He doesn't have to put himself and shove himself where he is being shown any kind of negativity. He stands on business, as the kids say, and we applaud him for that. And now Charles is going to step back. He has started his regular treatments, and I'm sure that he and Harry, of course, Meghan and the children will have that open line of communication. So this is the final part of the video. I want to talk about the coverage of Prince Harry being there. It was amazing to see how all the press just went to Prince Harry headlines, Harry in the UK, Harry driving to Clarence House. All of the press were waiting for him at the airport, and yes, this is according to a Sky News report. They said that they had gone there to Heathrow to see him arriving, and even the mail were right there to get him on the way out. So, and it makes you wonder, they did not know where he was staying. All his details were very well kept, so they had to have camped out there to see him leaving. And also, Prince Harry suddenly having police protection, so suspicious. It was so sus to everyone who just saw that, everyone who had been saying it needs to be organized 28 days in advance, to have him just getting it on the spot. As I said, Harry is in many ways the bigger man. He rises above it all. He doesn't go low, he goes high, and you've got to commend him for that. It doesn't matter if you're not in the Harry and Meghan camp. We've seen Harry putting on a brave face time and time again, and it just reflects so well on him. So here's just a sampling of the headlines on Harry being there in the UK. Here's one from the Mail. Harry headline news. Look at that. Oh gosh. Quote, Harry spends just 45 minutes with Charles. The Duke and William have no plans to meet at all. End quote. Look at that, and even finding a way to put Meghan in the article here. Here's Meghan right there in the headline. Another one here by The Telegraph. How the King's diagnosis could bring the royal family closer together, end quote. And there you can see the image that they chose. It's one of Harry and King Charles at a function where they were at, and he is giving him a kiss. And they kept on referencing his darling pa or darling papa in the press. It was very interesting to see that. And yes, all the articles on Harry going to Clarence House, arriving at the airport, it was just the Prince Harry takeover. And it's interesting, for someone who they have claimed is irrelevant, it is not matching up to what they are saying. They cover him. Look at all these headlines. All of them, Harry in the UK, Harry lands in London, Harry to see King Charles, Prince Harry arrives in London, and on and on and on. It was Harry all over the headline. So interesting that. And also another aspect of this was some people asking if Meghan should have come along and brought the grandchildren. Now, can you imagine if in fact she had? It would have been so disruptive to those children to have flown all across the Atlantic just to have a 30-minute visit with him. And I hear right now they're saying that they're keeping King Charles away from a lot of engagements and meeting with people to avoid him catching any kind of infection. Above all, this was the greatest decision for the Sussexes. Harry knew what he had to do, and I think it worked out well in the end. I prefer that they chose to keep Meghan and the children back in the US, where they could, support from afar. If they need to, they can video call. That would suffice for now. And I want to leave you all with one more thought. It was said that King Charles was to have a meeting with Rishi Sunak, the British Prime Minister. Anytime the monarch in the UK meets with the Prime Minister, they tend to do it face to face. And a spokesperson for the Prime Minister said, quote, "We don't in general, and we are not going to get into the habit of commenting on the PM's conversation with the King, but we have agreed with the palace in this specific instance to confirm that they will be speaking on the phone later," end quote. So make of that what you will. Prince Harry met with King Charles for about 45 minutes at Clarence House, and you see now, and because of this cancer diagnosis, he has changed tactic and will now be meeting with the Prime Minister over the phone. So make of that what you will. So share your thoughts on all of this in the comment section below. I would love to know your thoughts. And now Prince Harry is off to the US, home to Duchess Meghan and the children. We wish him safe travels. and we are of course rooting for him. We send all our love to him. Now I would like to know your thoughts on this in the comment section below. Share your standouts and your perspectives on this. We would love to hear them. Share them in the comment section below. As always, before we log off, allow me here to thank those of you who support this channel financially and shout you out by name. A very special thank you to you. Diana Animation, thank you for being such a faithful supporter of this channel throughout the years. Truly appreciate you. You are always kind and giving. Thank you. May God bless you. A special thank you as well to you, Ray Raquel. You're valued, so special, and I don't take for granted at all how faithful you've been in your giving, in your support. It means so much. May God bless you. And now a very special thank you to those of you who gave during one of the last lives. A very special thank you to you. Lydia Washington, thank you so much, Lydia, for your giving. And I want to celebrate you. You have been a member of this channel for 2 years plus, and I want to say thank you. Thank you so much for being a channel moderator as well. I appreciate you, Lydia, and I pray for God to bless you and yours. I love you. And a very special thank you as well to you. I.O., thank you. It is such a pleasure to know you, and I truly feel blessed by you. Thank you so much. May God bless you. Once again, thank you to all who like, comment, and share. Share your thoughts on all of this in the comment section below. I would love to know your thoughts. If you liked this one, give it a thumbs up, click subscribe. It does help out the channel. And also follow on Twitter or X. I'd love to see you on there. I love you all. Have a great day, and I'll catch you in the next one. Have a blessed one.